Off 66, day 15. My hair is a little bit funny. Actually on the road, on the way back home from Cedar Point. So it's been a little bit of sun, a little bit of cold. We just dropped off a friend who was visiting. He's gonna fly to Florida for the rest of his trip. I'll actually see him in a week, but for right now, part ways. Yeah, what a day. I know I said do it scared for 2024, but whoa. So like a story. I'm going to share a story. I don't know if today's thing is going to have a theme or I'm just going to talk. I don't know. We'll find out when we're done. It's an adventure we'll take together. When I was like 14 or 15, I think we went like the school trip to Canada's Wonderland. And I had never really been on a roller coaster before, like a proper roller coaster. And I was legit terrified. My friends were like, it's no big deal, you can come, you can whatever, it's like just do it. And I think I walked through at least like 3 or 4 different roller coasters like before actually getting my mind in a place where I could do it. And the first one I went on had a loop-de-loop. I don't know what I was thinking, but whatever, I did it. And like I remember getting to the end of it and I was like breathless, and I didn't love that. I loved being a part of what somebody else was doing, but I kind of went, okay, maybe roller coasters aren't for me. And I think I only went on one more the rest of that time. It would be like 6 or 7 years before I would have come back again. And this time I did a little bit more. They were talking today about how, like, you know, for most kids, there's like a switch that flips. If they were afraid, they're suddenly not afraid. For me, it took like a long time to, you know, get to the point where I could ride some, no better way to put it than other to call it like crazy shit. Because some of the stuff I went on today was wild. But one thing I've learned is like, I have a process. For most things, I have a process. I have to close my eyes. I'm aware that it's better. If somebody says, you know, you can see things, it's good. I don't really care. For me, I need to feel myself in the seat, and I need to feel what it's like to run through the entire ride without having any other input other than how it feels. And if I can handle that, then I'll probably ride it again. Usually on the second or third time, then I can open my eyes. And I think it has a lot to do with how I assimilate information physically. I think everybody's different. I mean, science, you know, might say one thing, but I think to experience something, we don't really know what's inside somebody's mind. And that's probably going to be a constant refrain in all my videos. But for me, this is what makes sense. This is the process by which I have figured out that I can do these scary things. You know, I try it with one data set, one input, and then see how it goes. If it feels all right, you know, then I'll add more if I can. And, you know, I think about all the ways that I've been talking about, you know, doing things scared. It's like, I am, but I'm also doing them in like ways that I don't control the environment, but like, you know, just have control over some of the parameters. And that is important to me, being able to step outside my comfort zone. So, you know, today I didn't do any of those control of parameters to some degree, a little bit, but not the entire thing. Of course, I closed my eyes, much to the chagrin of the people I was with. But what I did that was maybe outside of what I would usually do is that we actually drove last night, which meant 4 hours of driving to get to the park. Stayed overnight. We got in like, I think it was like 9:30, 10 o'clock, something like that. By the time we got checked in, like 10:30, 11 in bed. And then got up today and did a full day. Now, I had already done a full day at Canada's Wonderland like 2 days ago, right? And now I'm doing another full day. Like, these are beyond the limits of what I would usually mentally allow for, because I like to have some downtime in between. You know, I know I go to a lot of conferences or whatever, but what you don't see is the downtime that usually happens afterwards to be able to get myself back to a good spot. So I'm planning on going into work tomorrow. There will be no break between the two, and I probably won't get home until midnight. And I'm gonna say that's probably more scary to commit to that than, you know, going on some of the roller coasters I went to today, because there's no transition time, there's no buffer, and I usually use that buffer to get myself right. But when I'm thinking about the things that I want to build, it's that resilience to be able to do things beyond just what's inside of my control, right? How do I take those things that I usually try to set up for myself for success, but be successful anyway, right? So remove those and then be successful anyway. I think that's like the next level of resilience for myself. Now, I'm not saying everybody has to do that, and I'm not saying I'm going to fully take away everything that makes me comfortable, but I am going to challenge some of those notions in myself, because I think sometimes it's part of those lies that I think that we might tell ourselves. You know, it would be really easy for me to say, I'm on the road, I've been roller coastering all day. I could post another video with a voiceover with pictures, but like realistically, I'm not going to get in until 11:30 tonight, right? But when I set out to make this commitment to make these videos, I really, you know, whether anybody watches them or not, I don't know, but like, I really wanted to make sure that I followed through on this, because there's lots of things that I've done where I don't necessarily always do that. And that's a skill that I'm working on. So I'm here in my car when it's not convenient for me. I kicked the husband out. He's in getting a coffee, and I'm taking a minute to talk about that, because I think, you know, the doing it scared is like one part, but like we need to look at all the constructs that we put in to make ourselves comfortable, and challenge those too, because things change, our needs change, the people around us change. And if we never test those theories, if we never, you know, challenge them against what we've always known, then we might be missing something, right? What's it going to look like when I get to day 66 and I didn't give myself an out, right? And I don't judge anybody who does that. If that's what you've needed to do, that's totally fine. But I usually do that for myself. I usually give myself an out if it's hard or there's, you know, a difficulty in the way. And I don't want to do that this time. That's something that I'm committing to for this. And I'm looking for ways that I can not do that in the rest of my life too. So I consider this like a small little practice. So I don't know if anybody watches these videos, but if you do, and you're trying to do something, just remind yourself that consistency is key. Don't let your brain lie to you. I'm going to keep saying that. And try to stay committed in whatever capacity you can. Commitment is important. Thank you to the people who joined me today. I'll probably end up tagging them. Had a lot of fun and did something that I wouldn't usually do, and that I was definitely scared to do. And there was a couple of coasters that I missed because I definitely knew that my stomach couldn't take it, considering where it was. There was one ride I got off and I felt like I couldn't walk after. But for the stuff that I did do, I was really happy and pretty proud of myself. So yeah. Anyway, see you guys tomorrow.